Hola, hoy vamos a aprender cómo conjugar los verbos en el pretérito. El pretérito es el pasado. Primero tienen que entender qué es el pretérito. Estamos hablando de un tiempo diferente del presente. Otra vez es un tiempo es cuando ocurre la acción. Por ejemplo, aprendimos el presente en la clase de español 1 y el primer semestre. Por ejemplo, yo hablo en español. I speak Spanish in Spanish. Ella tiene un perro. She has a dog. Nosotros les demos los boletos a ellos. We give the tickets to them. So all these are in the present tense. They're occurring at that very moment. Pero el pasado es diferente. En inglés, para formar el presente, tienen que añadir ed al verbo. Por ejemplo, he walked, we listened, etc. And now we know we're in the past. Pero en español es diferente, porque en español tenemos que conjugar los verbos con el raíz y después la parte final del verbo. El pasado tiene finales diferentes que el presente. Y eso se llama el pretérito. So when I use the word preterite, or you see the word pretérito, I'm talking about the past. Just like we're used to seeing in English, it's the same thing with the ed at the end. And there's no difference in the meaning between pretérito and what we think of as a simple past. Estas son las conjugaciones de los verbos AR en el pretérito. En vez de O en la forma yo, tenemos E. Tú haste, él, usted, o, nosotros hamos, vosotros hastáis, y ellos, ellas, ustedes, haron. Por ejemplo, el verbo visitar significa to visit, y la forma yo de visitar es visité. So we dropped our AR ending, just as we always do in any conjugation in español, and then our new endings, which the yo form is E. La forma tú, visitaste. Él, usted, visitó. Ellos, nosotros visitamos. Vosotros visitasteis. Y ellos, ellas, ustedes visitaron. Hopefully you're making some observations here, especially with nosotros. And the él, usted might look a little familiar to you from similar to the present tense. And we'll talk about that momentarily. Primero, nosotros es igual en el presente que el pretérito. Tienen que pensar en palabras clave como anteayer, ayer, el lunes pasado, etc., para saber que estamos en el pasado y no en el presente. So think about, just like in English, if I said the word yesterday, I would know that we're in the past tense. Por ejemplo, I camped. Go ahead and pause your screen and see if you can't figure out how to fill some of these expressions out using the rules about conjugating in the pretérito. Okay, la forma yo de camped, to camp, acampar, acampé. We rode, montamos, she sent, mandó, they took, tomaron, you visited in the to form, the informal form, visitaste, you in the formal form, fished, pescaste, y'all in Mexico bought, compraron, y y'all in español, in España, bargained. El verbo regatear, ahora es regateastes. I just want to point out the importance of those accent marks in the yo form and the el usted form. This is what makes the difference between the present and the pretérito. So if I just said mando without the accent mark, I would be saying I send instead of she sent. I really need those accent marks in order to be clear, not only with pronunciation, but with whom I'm talking about. So if you listen to the difference between the present and the preterite, see if you can identify it. Here is the present tense. Mando. Here's the pretérito. Mandó. So the emphasis is on a different letter. So without that accent mark, it makes it very confusing for native speakers to understand who you're talking about. Ahora los verbos car, gar, zar en el pretérito. Todos los verbos que terminan con car, gar y zar tienen cambios en la forma yo del pretérito para mantenerse el sonido. Todos esos, las otras formas son regulares, no tienen cambios. Por ejemplo, los verbos car, la C ahora es QU. La G de gar es GU. Y la Z de zar es C. So the reason being, again, is to maintain that sound. If I have a C next to an E in Spanish, instead of making a K sound, that C becomes S. And I don't want to say pratique, I want to maintain the pratique. I don't want to say navege, I want to keep that hard G sound, so I say navegue. I have to change the G to GU, that's how I avoid that problem. Organice, that's mostly going to be a different sound if I'm in Spain. But again, note this only occurs in the yo form. So the to form, I don't have to worry about changing that C to QU, that G to GU, or that Z to C, as well as all the other forms. This is only a problem in the yo form. Por ejemplo, para decir who organized the trip or the excursion. I organized the excursion. So who organized? Here I'm asking about anybody. I don't know who did the action. So I'm going to use the el usted form. So in this case, organizar, el verbo, to organize, does end in cargarzar. But if it's not in the yo form, I don't have to worry about changing this Z of organizar to a C. So it's become quien organizó la excursión. So the ending is as you would expect any regular ending of AR verbs, the preterite. Pero en cambio, I organized the trip or the excursion. In this case, organizar ends in zar. So it's a cargarzar verb and we're in the yo form. So now I know I have to change that Z to a C, and hopefully you remember the endings. Organicé. Yo organicé la excursión.